world could be changed forever. Two types of weapons. Imagine, in just a moment, hypersonic missiles and lasers hold the power to destroy everything. Crossroads that could determine the future of modern war. Two superpowers, former enemies, now stand, and only two countries have the ability to deploy them: the United States and China. Are we approaching a conflict where even the standoff with Navy power? Mistake could throw the world into chaos? Let's dive into what's really happening. In recent years, threats from China have become clearer than ever, and while it has always projected strength, it has responded with fierce tension. In August 2020, a highly tense event unfolded in the South. PLA conducted a large-scale ballistic missile test, a strategic area not only for China, but also a hotspot for the entire international community. The People's Liberation Army launching a series of missiles from land-based sites into the region. With ballistic missiles capable of reaching up to 1,900 miles, about 3,000 kilometers, the PLA sent a clear message. This wasn't just a routine drill, it was a bold of power, simulating a direct attack on the enemy's modern warships. But what's truly remarkable is that these missiles are not ordinary munitions. The DF-21D ballistic missiles, called China's carrier killer, can travel at hypersonic speeds and evade modern air defense systems, something any US or foreign warships attempting to intervene in this region could become targets of China's missiles. Are still struggling to counter effectively. These missiles are designed to strike fast-moving targets like aircraft race. Does the US and its allies have what it takes to counter this, destroying critical naval assets from a distance without ever needing to get close to the enemy? So the question many of our viewers are asking is, in a world where more great powers are entering the hypersonic and America's own hypersonic missiles, but fast enough to intercept Chinese missiles but destroy expensive warships? The answer may lie in the development of new defense systems like laser weapon warning messages to the US. Will America this video? This is just one of many military drills by China, offer these messages seriously. When US reconnaissance aircraft, like the RC-135, if you have your own answer, feel free to share it in the comments. It was a powerful statement of the PLA's combat. Likely they're not just observing, they're collecting vital information on these all appear, just as China conducts missile tests. This particular missile test by China wasn't just a military exercise, and the DF-21D, with a range of weapons capable of striking distant targets with precision, both at sea and DF-26B, two extremely dangerous. The missiles launched in this exercise were the DF-20. Notably, the DF-21D is equipped with a warhead like aircraft carriers. It's a medium-range ballistic 100 to 1,900 miles, can hit fast-moving, large targets that can destroy warships from afar without ever getting. The DF-26B, a medium to intermediate range, travel at hypersonic speeds and features a highly accurate guidance system, including the advanced air defense systems used by the US. Alongside it easy to bypass the defense systems of warships, only capable of attacking warships, the DF-26B can also strike strategic warships and other critical infrastructure, so has a range of up to 3,500 miles and can strike targets at extremely long without immediate retaliation. This missile can target large assets, including militaries. Not only have impressive ranges, but they're also designed to strike precisely at. What's notable is that both of these types reach targets. These missiles can travel at hypersonic speeds, making them presenting a comprehensive threat to the US and its allies. Weapons when closing in on their targets. The United States possesses the most powerful fleet in the world, with massive area in a scenario where the US might need to intervene in a conflict in Taiwan. These missiles pose a serious threat to the US Navy, is twice the size of all the other countries' carriers combined. Carriers that account for a quarter of the total number of aircraft carriers. However, while China doesn't possess equivalent, the deck area of US aircraft and DF-26 to strike and penetrate carriers, they might not need to use them. Instead, they could long-range ballistic missiles like the DF-20 of US warships. The threat from these missiles, an urgent challenge for the US. How can they hit these hypersonic missiles before they hit their strength to protect the giant warships from being destroyed? do the current U.S. defense systems in mere seconds. To address this, the U.S. has launched a secret project called Meteor to counter China's maritime threats. Many members of Navy power believe that the goal of this project is to develop a directed energy weapon. The ability of directed energy weapons far exceeds that of lasers, especially in wide-scale targeting, the flexibility of their effects. Laser weapons, while extremely accurate and able to burn a target instantly, still have certain limitations: ability to penetrate defense layers when faced with highly durable targets, or being affected by environmental factors like rain, dust, or fog. Simultaneous, wide-scale attacks, which is especially useful to disrupt the electronics of defense systems, radar, or even weapons control systems of the enemy. DDBUs can contrast. Directed energy weapons can attack targets from a distance, being affected by weather conditions. They generate microwave pulses that can, without the need to reload, like traditional munition waves at incredible speeds. DDBUs not only provide rapid attack capabilities, but can also fire at once is crucial. With the ability to combat situations with large numbers of targets, such as drone or warship attacks, where hitting multiple, they can jam signals or create powerful effects. Most notably, effects depending on the situation. For example, one of the standout advantages of DOs is their ability to produce speeds approaching the speed of light. The microwaves from Ds are almost impossible instantly, before they have a chance to detect the source of missiles to evade or obscure. These missiles would be neutralized. Furthermore, unlike traditional weapons, DOs don't require reload. A major advantage is the low cost per shot, allowing the U.S. for each use. As long as there's a power source, deploy this weapon effectively without worrying about resources, can keep attacking without being limited by the number of munitions. DUs could be much lower than traditional weapons, millions of dollars per launch. The cost of using a DE, according to our research, the cost per shells or munitions. While a modern missile could typically ranges from a few thousand to thousands of dollars, thanks to the lack of expensive munitions or reloading launch. In contrast, a modern missile system, such as the US SM-3 missile, designed to counter ballistic missiles, costs about $3,050,000 per shot, depending on the design and scale of the system. Significantly reduce costs in long-term conflicts, while allowing. This means that strategically, HPM, high-power microwave technology EU system, could be as low as 10,000 weapon in the showdown between these two superpowers. If you also predict that this technology will become the prime, could HPM become the game forces to use weapons more flexibly without worrying about resource limitation? Strategic tool for the US Navy, helping them maintain. The rapid development of new weapons has forced the over the oceans and protect freedom of navigation from China's growing threat. Drop a 1 in the comments below this video. In reason to destroy them. It's an unbearable disparity. And while having to launch missiles worth millions of situation, the US must deal with cheap drones worth just $1,000 to search for effective, lower-cost defense solutions. Imagine an extremely challenging standoff between the US Navy and Houthi forces in the Red Sea. Resupply is not a simple task, as their bases could be thousands of miles away. Only have a limited amount of defensive missiles, and when naval warfare, the situation becomes even worse. Their attacks on US and allied warships in the region has garnered significant international attention, revealing a shift in modern warfare tactics, especially regarding the use of non-traditional weapons and drone technology. The Houthi forces, an armed group with ties to Iran, advanced warships in the world. These missiles can be fired from land or small war missiles at US Navy warships. In recent months, the Houthis have launched anti-ship often carried out in surprise scenarios, making it difficult for the US Navy to respond quickly. But it doesn't stop there, and are capable of flying at high speeds and long ranges, enough to strike targets at sea without immediately detected. Moreover, this is a low-cost, high-impact form of attack that can carry explosive warheads and autonomously crash into targets. These have also used suicide drones, all armed groups can use to inflict significant damage on large. Particularly noteworthy about these attacks is the use of unmanned vehicles can fly into the target area, but also have the capabilities without the need for resources like ballistic missiles. These drones now alter their flight path, complicating the defense systems of warships. This type of attack, though low cost, or ships, are equipped with explosives and remotely controlled to crash into warships with the goal of explosives. These vehicles, which could be small, unmanned, but significant damage, especially if the enemy warship cannot react. In response, the US has had to rely on expensive defense to meet demand in these scenarios. So, with the or if its defense systems are not strong enough. But a major issue is that supply and availability of low-cost weapons from around the world. Can the US Navy rely on an alternative solution? Threat of China's hypersonic missiles and the proved to be a game-changer. Instead of here, Meteor's HPM expensive missiles for larger threats. Not only that, with its high-energy capabilities and can intercept targets at an earlier stage, HPM could become a key component of the US Navy's long-term defense strategy. Costly surface-to-air missiles to counter small threats. That's why the US has requested over $9 million for the Meteor in fiscal year 2025 and $13.5 million for the previous year. But until HPM technology can fully replace when the program was still called Red Cat weapons, ballistic missiles. These missiles will probably be considered the eighth wonder of the world. Whether for offense or defense, ballistic defense systems, the US Navy will still have to rely on the SM-6 is one of the most noteworthy weapons, including the United States, with its massive arsenal. Among the ballistic missiles in the US Navy's inventory, the SM-6 is equipped with a fragmentation warhead have always been the top choice for the world's most powerful nations at high speeds or have advanced defense systems. This capability allows the SM-6 to take down targets quickly, even when they're capable of destroying targets through direct impact or by using the debris from the explosion, increases its effectiveness and reduces the chances of the enemy evading. One of the standout hypersonic missiles, which are becoming an increasingly significant global. This also makes the SM-6 an ideal choice against ballistic missiles launched from outer space, entering to strike targets on land or at sea. The SMs intercept these missiles while they are still falling back down, providing SM-6 is its ability to destroy targets in low Earth orbit. In combat scenarios, ballistic missiles may travel into space, but enemy warships, particularly aircraft carriers and large warships, from a distance without needing to get too close to the target. And furthermore, the SM-6 can also be used in defense not just for warships, but also for military forces. With its precision strike capabilities from hundreds of miles away, the SM-6 helps the US Navy maintain superiority at sea. Stopping the SM-6 is not only a powerful air defense weapon, but also an essential part of the US Navy's comprehensive defense system. SM-6 has truly become the US Navy's space shield, helping protect their dominance over strategic sea areas. According to ships from missile threats, drones, and even hypersonic weapon attacks. As maritime threats continue to rise, distance and protecting warships, including aircraft carriers, from enemy attacks. Thanks to this versatile maneuverability hypersonic threats. This is no accident. The SM-6 stands out due to its unique design. It combines the dual-state only weapon in America's arsenal, capable of intercepting. Admiral John Hill, head of the U.S. Missile Defense Agency, the SM-6 makes the SM-6 not just a conventional missile, but also capable of intercepting the warhead of an advanced medium-range air-to-air missile. This system of the SM-3, the airframe of the SM-2, and the sea missile ranges from $1.5 million to $2 million, depending on the configuration and the number of units or beyond the radar range of a warship. This is particularly important when facing long-range threats that exceed the radar's control range. According to our research, the cost of although the cost of each missile is not cheap, it is still much lower than traditional ballistic missile defenses, such as the Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense (BM) system, which can cost up to $3 million per missile. However, many believe that considering the cost and effectiveness of opposing hypersonic missiles, the SM-6 still provides. Weighing 3,500 pounds, one forming the longest-range missile intercept in U.S. Navy history. In 2016, the SM-6 set a record effective protection at a reasonable cost. If you agree with this thought, leave a 1 in the comments. 5. Faster than any aircraft, including the SRs, traveling through space and achieving speeds of Mach. The SM-6 can reach altitudes of over 33 miles, 53 tons, and carrying a 140-pound, 63.5 kilograms war. SM-6 can accurately strike targets at ranges up to 230 miles, 300 Blackbird, the fastest jet in the world. Guided by an inertial navigation system combined with semi-active and active radar in the final stage, 70 kilometers. With all these features, it's no surprise that the Meteor PM weapons cannot replace the SM-6, value, speed, or maneuverability. So, two weapons will form a perfect defense and offense duo, helping the U.S. Navy protect its warships from any type of weapon, regardless of support and complement it. Together, what do you think about the future of the U.S. Navy when combining such powerful strategic weapons, HPM and SM-6? They become a golden pair, providing a solid shield against increasingly sophisticated threats from modern weapons like hypersonic missiles and drone attacks. HPM and SM-6 are not just weapons that protect warships, they open a new chapter in the U.S. Navy's strategy, helping them maintain superiority below. And safeguard their most valuable assets. Could this be the next step for the U.S. to solidify its military power in this ever-changing world? We'd love your thoughts on this combination. Do you believe this is the future of naval defense, or are there other noteworthy solutions out there? Share your opinions in the Submarines are not only invisible war machines, they also represent the most advanced technology and superior across vast maritime territories. Equipped with modern weapon systems and the ability to remain defense capabilities, helping to protect national security and hidden underwater, submarines play a crucial role in ensuring and perfecting submarines is not only a move to protect territorial integrity, but a long-term strategy to maintain military strength. The fact that countries are investing billions of dollars into researching strategic superiority and maintaining stability for nations on the high seas in long-range warfare situations. Prominent in the field of modern submarine development, the Swedish company Saab Kockums has established itself as a leader with its advanced opening up a new future for next-generation submarines that meet the global defense needs in the face of increasing maritime threats. Their cutting-edge technology capable of extended underwater operations, enhancing the combat effectiveness of naval forces. Saab Kockums is currently manufacturing a line of submarines powered by continuous innovation, have produced submarines to stay submerged for extended imitations of traditional diesel-electric submarines, which require surface without having to surface. AIP technology, fully overconnected propulsion, AIP systems. An advanced technology that allows. The greatest benefit of this technology lies in its ability to enhance the recharge and provide oxygen for their engines. Rather than relying on power the engines as in the past, the AIP system uses a chemical reaction between fuel and oxidizers to generate energy without the need for external surge status, and minimizing detection is critical. AIP technology. Additionally, this system optimizes energy performance, allows submarines to operate continuously for weeks underwater without the need to surface, the time when they are most vulnerable to radar or surveillance and invisibility of submarines. In military missions, maintaining deep experience and exported 7 classes of submarines to 3. Saab is particularly proud of having accumulated over 100 continents. Not only in production, reduces engine noise and allows submarines to operate quietly and efficiently, but they also lead with a fully digitized process. Each part of the submarine undergoes rigorous testing and protected optimally. The work does not stop on model-based definition, ensuring that product data is always secure times that of the atmosphere. Just imagine how extreme that 200 feet underwater, with pressure 100 world. Here, components are subjected to conditions equivalent to a depth of over hyperbaric test chamber. One of the largest test chamber construction process is also tied to meaningful traditional ceremonies. Do you know which ceremonies mark the beginning and the grand journey of a submarine? Leave a comment video on the Navy Power channel and let us know. Not only is there modern technology, but one of these is the keel-laying strict tests. The submarine is a free. After passing a series where the name or signature of the sponsor is welded onto a steel plate attached to the hull delivered during the commissioning ceremony. This is a solemn event that marks the submarine's comprehensive completion, from design and to its readiness for combat. During this ceremony, the submarine will be presented with the naval flag, symbolizing its integral fleet and the beginning of its mission to the nation's maritime territory. The event took place in a solemn atmosphere, with the participation of military ceremony. The submarine officially joins the naval forces, is delivered, and becomes operational. Senior officials and representatives of the sponsors. The moment the flag was raised officially marked the submarine's full readiness to take on it. This is not only a milestone of completion, but also a testament to the unity commissioning ceremony. Share your experience with us in the comments below. The submarine and unwavering sacrifice of the naval soldiers who will navigate the submarine on its challenging journeys. If you've ever participated in a keel laying, not only carries modern technology, but also symbolizes the strength, resilience, and determination where the dry dock plays a crucial role in maintaining of the entire naval force. However, to ensure the submarine is always ready to face any sea, it must undergo rigorous maintenance. And when the submarine is pulled into the dock, modern combat systems and crucial equipment include marine, creating space for engineers and maintenance experts to work safely and effectively. Every system and structure must be thoroughly inspected, from the hull to the electronics, engines, and weapons. The process begins by draining all the water out to ensure the submarine can continue to changes in military technology and new combat requirements. Our weapons and defense systems must also be upgraded. When the submarine reaches midlife, a comprehensive upgrade process is. Not only do tugboats pull and tugboats are needed, these silent heroes of the open sea effectively in harsh combat environments. Interestingly, to bring the submarine into the dry dock ships, but they also serve as rescue vessels in emergency situations and are specifically designed to handle port operations or support the Navy. From simple. The dry dock is filled with water and water into the sea, the preparation process. When the submarine completes its maintenance and is ready, this might seem easy, but departing from the port were brought in. At first glance, the tugboats play a key role, pulling the submarine out just as they did when close coordination and meticulous planning between teams across the entire shipyard could disrupt the entire process? If so, comment 1 below. Once it leaves the dock, the submarine rejoins the fleet and the crew is ready. Do you think that just one out new missions? However, life on a submarine is nothing like our everyday life. Missions typically last about 6 months, while ballistic missile submarines may operate for 3. For fast attack submarines or cruise missile submarines in the U.S. Navy, 3 years, after which they take leave on land for 2 to 3 years. Notably, sailors are often assigned to submarine side world. This is normal for submarine sailors. Everything is harsh. One of the highlights is food. Have you ever imagined what life would be like without cell phone signals or windows to something many sailors highly appreciate? On the nuclear-powered Virginia class, they are not just cooks, they are in USS South Dakota. One of the key elements in maintaining the morale and health of the crew is prepared by a team of 7 talented artists. Creating a variety of nutritious on a submarine is preparing meals in the cramped space and with limited ingredients to meet the needs of the 135 sailors on board. One of the biggest challenges is the needs of the sailors during their long journey. Meals are not just food. Meals must be prepared before each shift, usually 4 hours in advance of serving, and the dishes need to meet. They are a great morale booster for the sailors, feel more connected to the outside world. The kitchen team on the submarine has to plan very to ensure that the meals are varied, nutritious, and still creative. From pizza, omelets, and puddings to giant ingredients are used optimally without waste. This is crucial because all the meals are carefully prepared and beautifully presented. This is the challenge of managing the food supplies effectively, ensuring to preparing the main meals The kitchen team is not just cooking, they are also food management, ensuring each meal meets nutritional, not receive additional supplies from outside during journey at sea. Therefore, the distant sailors must live with narrow aisles and tiny sleeping quarters, making comfort nearly, and especially the sailors' taste preferences. However, life beneath the sea is far from easy. The space inside a submarine is very, which requires flexibility and strong organizational skills. It's a confined environment where every square meter 6 to 8 hours, taking on different tasks maximized, just enough for one person to move around. They work in harmony, ensuring everything runs smoothly, despite the volume workload demands that the sailors work in. The marine must produce its own water and oxygen in difficult conditions. Moreover, sustain the crew throughout the journey. However, the submarine's ability to remain at the heart of the submarine is the control room, where every operation of the submarine is monitored and cooled. The more critical the need for food and other essential supplies becomes. Also depends on its food supplies, as the longer it stays This is not only where the systems are operated, but also the submarine's core. It's not only modern technology that keeps the sublisted or officer plays a vital role in running the submarine. In this harsh, every crucial decision is made. Every sailor. These individuals aren't just soldiers. They are but also the dedication and expertise of each sailor working tirelessly beneath the ocean. Individuals willing to spend months underwater to complete admiration for these dedicated individuals. If so, missions that few outside can truly understand. What do you think about the untold stories from the depths of the sea? Does life on a submarine make you curious or leave a comment below, and we'll create more interesting videos about the life of sailors at sea for you. Don't forget to follow the Navy Power channel to stay updated on exciting military content. See you in the next. Imagine a Russian submarine unexpectedly surfacing near a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Mediterranean, highlighting the delicate balance of power oceans. With current global tensions, no one can such confrontations have occurred before. So, what would happen next in a confrontation between a Russian? This requires deep understanding and careful deliberation that such events are impossible. A state and a U.S. aircraft carrier. Let's explore this scenario with Navy Power. Powerful sonar systems act as underwaters, emitting sound waves and analyzing their echoes to pinpoint the location of submarines. Advanced signal processing technology helps distinguish back. The first line of defense lies in sophisticated detection after encountering an object. When these sound waves hit an object from the unique sounds of a deeply submerged submarine, a U.S. Navy to detect potential threats with precision and timeliness. Sonar works by emitting sound waves underwater and analyzing the action of movement. Thanks to its ability to detect submarines at a submarine, but also provides critical information about its speed. Submarine, they bounce back and are captured by the sonar system. This system not only accurately identifies the position of and in complex underwater environments, sonar allows U.S. wars. This technology also helps the U.S. Navy mitigate threats from outs and ensure national security. Submarines, creating a robust defense layer to protect maintain the upper hand in underwater conflict. Additionally, underwater drones and other innovative technologies However, sonar isn't the only tool. Satellites and reconnaissance aircraft also assess ocean areas for signs of unusual activity. Enhanced detection capabilities. Communication between units become critically important. The entire group is placed on high alert, with all personnel ready to respond to threats. At this stage, marine is detected near a carrier group. The situation becomes serious, making it harder for the submarine to approach and facilitating better coordination for anti-submarine warfare (ASW) responses. In such a scenario, the aircraft carrier and its escort ships course and speed to form a tighter defensive formation, utilize torpedoes, depth charges, or helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft equipped with sonar more precisely. Ships within the carrier other detection devices would be deployed to locate the sub. Initial responses focus on gathering intelligence and utilized weapons to neutralize the threat. actions would depend on various factors, including the specific situation, a strong defensive posture. Subs crucial role in preventing misunderstandings and escalation. In such a high-alert situation, clear communication and diplomatic efforts, protocols, and rules of engagement. Submarine surfaces near a carrier strike group, tensions can quickly escalate. International maritime signal flags are used to standard radio frequencies, and dedicated communication channels convey basic messages. Beyond direct contact between vessels. Addition to ship communication, diplomatic channels between the US and Russia likely be activated. Embassies and military would work behind the scenes to clarify intentions, de-escalate tensions, and seek a peaceful resolution. To handle the situation calmly and professionally on maritime safety also contribute to conflict resolution. International maritime laws and canalizing clear communication and established. However, communication and diplomacy. If a Russian submarine and a US aircraft carrier were to channels to ensure safety and prevent uncontrolled escalation are not always sufficient to maintain peace on the seas. When a Russian submarine surfaces near a US aircraft carrier, series of complex tactical and strategic reactions side would employ. Share your thoughts in the comments below. In an actual conflict, what strategies do you think is of paramount importance? Scenarios. Aircraft carriers are the crown jewels of the strike group and protect. Many strategies and considerations guide interactions in strike groups. CSGs are critical components, the centerpiece of naval forces. CSGs typically include forming a tightly knit defensive Navy's defensive strategy, particularly in safeguarding aircraft carrier accompanied by escort ships such as cruisers and in-track submarines. The sonar systems. These escort ships play a vital role in defending the carrier from threats. Escort ships help identify and distinguish submarine noises, allowing the enemy submarines, utilizing advanced sonar systems, time to react and deploy timely defensive measures, counterattacks or intensified patrols. Destroyer cruisers within the CSG are also equipped with effective anti-submarines, including anti-submarine missiles and other offensive systems to neutralize threats from enemy submarines before they can approach them. CSGs are not only offensive forces. Beneath the ocean, warships and submarines from global superpowers engage in integral components of the US Navy's multi-dimensional defense strategy. So of intent. Why would a submarine surface in the presence of a highly monitored or a carrier strike group? It becomes a confrontation, not just of strategy and technology, in CSG. It might be due to mechanical failure and complex environment. When a submarine surface might approach to provide assistance or calibrated response, as international maritime law has strict protocols or an urgent need to communicate. Such situations require urgency aid and communication at sea. The care procedures. If the situation shows signs of hostility, tensions would rise immediately. At that safe distance, to ensure that communication proceeds according to the rules of engagement, RO would dictate the level of CSG is authorized to employ. These rules not only account for the course of events in non-hostile situations, the carrier strike threat level, but also consider international protocols and efforts to escalate conflicts whenever possible. The ultimate authority lies with the carrier group command, and each decision they make significantly international rules on freedom of navigation, generally free operations in international waters, and, at times, closely track it to ensure it poses no danger, maintain communication, or monitor the submarine from a safe distance. However, if a submarine surfaces near U.S. territorial water, do not interfere with the lawful activities of prevent the submarine from breaching restricted zones. CSG's response is likely to be more decisive, issuing direct warnings, both visual and verbal, carrier group to reallocate resources to monitor the submarine, delaying planned activities or training exercises. Such encounters can disrupt ongoing missions. Maintaining a strong defense may also temporarily limit the carrier's abilities. A standoff between a submarine and a carrier strike group is truly a chess game where superior stealth capabilities, thanks to noise reduction technologies, sophisticated hydrodynamic designs, move is carefully calculated. In a world where technology and strategies continually evolve, modern submarines both Advanced sonar systems, towed sonar arrays equipped with torpedoes, anti-ship missiles, and mines. These features make them nearly invisible to detection systems, posing a significant threat to aircraft carriers. However, this does not render carrier groups power-being sonar deployed from helicopters work in tandem to protective shield around the carrier. Escort ships in the group are also armed with anti-submarine weapons such as missiles, torpedoes, and depth charges to neutralize the threat. Marines to track and predict the movements of the carrier group, employing coordinated maneuvers to make it difficult. Modern simulation and data analysis technology, submarine warfare, ASW tactics, are constantly also aid commanders in predicting potential submarine activities, key factor in maintaining superiority to the realm of electronic warfare. The battlefield extends beyond underwater electronic warfare to conceal their presence or disrupt the ASW efforts of their adversaries. Conversely, submarines can also while protecting their own networks from cyber attacks. Carrier strike groups utilize electronic warfare (EW) systems to jam enemy sonar and projecting global power. For nations with carrier these advancements influence not only but also broader strategies for controlling the seas. Countering the submarine threat remains a top where each side strives to gain the upper hand in the vast oceanic. The technological arms race between and aircraft carriers is a constant game of adaptation. History has witnessed intense standoffs between submarines and air strike group in the Mediterranean was one of the areas, and each time the ocean seen a Soviet submarine surfaced near a U.S. its breath in tension. The 1970 incentive measures to monitor and detect enemy submarines. U.S. aircraft carriers, serving a strategic role in conflicts and tense situations, were prime targets for the U.S. as a military superpower, utilized advanced sonar systems. Tense confrontations between the two superpowers during the Cold War. With Soviet submarines operating near U.S. carriers, American submarines aiming to monitor and even threaten them. Had to act decisively, employing emergency countermeasures to their forces and prevent escalation into armed conflict. These measures included implementing defensive tactics and gathering tools to better understand the Soviet submarines' objectives, enhanced sonar surveillance, deploying warships, and using U.S. radar and sonar systems at the time played and negotiations to avoid a full-scale war. Nevertheless, the tense standoff was eventually resolved through diplomatic channels, underscoring the importance of maintaining diplomatic relations in detecting enemy submarines and preventing potential actions. Do you think such encounters will continue as superpowers persist in strategic confrontations? We look forward to your insights. Throughout naval, submarine and aircraft carrier encounters have high strength at sea. Join Navy Power and leave your comments to ensure that calm judgment prevails during moments of heightened tension. Following such incidents, emergency communication channels were developed. Urgent need for clear communication protocols to avoid misunderstandings and escalation. Demonstrating the advancement of modern submarines and raising looking back at the late 20th century, declassified information revealed an incident group. The U.S. submarine remained undetected for involving a U.S. submarine and a Soviet carrier. In 2006, a Chinese song about the vulnerability of carrier groups to threats. This incident spurred investments in anti-submarine warfare, ASW technology, particularly in the development of sonar systems and advanced tracking methods. Submarine unexpectedly surfaced near a U.S. carrier strike group led by the U.S. Nimitz. Although the situation remained of clear communication to prevent misunderstandings, it prompted a series of diplomatic actions and underscored the carrier strike group could employ measures to jam and disrupt the subgroup's defensive perimeter. In such a scenario, warfare (EW) would become a critical battleground. Imagine a submarine using advanced noise reduction technology breaking through the carrier. Expert analysis and simulations conducted by military strategists play a vital role in preparing for such events. War games and simulations allow commander systems, while the submarine would attempt to presence and counter anti-submarine efforts. Of the submarines and carrier strike groups involved, as well as environmental and international protocols. These simulations account for various factors, such as the specific strategies and tactics in controlled environments, identify weaknesses and improve responses to ensure safety and prevent escalation of conflict. The objective is to anticipate challenges and develop effective response. The insights gained from each situation have the strategic impact of these events extends far beyond the direct confrontation in anti-submarine technology, while those relying on submarines future technological developments and strategic decisions, advancements in stealth and weaponry. This push-and-pull dynamic between the two has defined nations with carrier strike groups strive to maintain channels and fostering international cooperation. Important. Aircraft carriers and submarines are marvels of modern engineering, but they share the oceans. Beyond the strategic elements, environmental concerns are a landscape of naval power, underscoring the importance of maintaining clear communications can disrupt their communication, hinder their ability and sonar on marine creatures. Life. A major issue is noise. Imagine an extremely loud underwater vacuum cleaner. That's the effect. Fortunately, there are ways to mitigate these impacts. New designs feature incidents like oil spills or the destruction of sensitive seabed habitats can also taking years for the ocean to recover. Food and even damage their hearing. In protection rules, such as designating shipping lanes that have sensitive habitats. Through smart technology and some navies employ specialized sonar settings to reduce noise. Nations also collaborate to establish. How do you think these situations could influence global waters? What are your thoughts on such encounter to international agreements? We can keep the oceans clean for all creatures, even as massive ships comments below. And if you enjoyed this video or learned so, don't forget to like and subscribe to Navy Power for more fascinating dynamics. Share your ideas.